For every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is April 17th, YC127, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? Hey, I didn't peg the mic this time. That might have worked. What's up, Cozy, and everybody else? Oh, 7 to you. Got my little Fedo over here, just hanging out. We are getting ready to go. Today, we want to update a couple... Perfect pitch. Excellent. We have some updates for today in the event. Not so much actually changing the event itself, but we did get some more information. But we also got our new skins and Plex packs and other such things. So we wanted to look at that today. I do have the possibility of doing some exploration if we have time, but I'm also kind of tempted to do today's New Eden news and give you guys the news, like the what's up for today, and then wrap things up so that way I can go and admittedly play Phasmo, but also edit that New Eden news to get it out early. But that's kind of the plan so far, but we do have stuff to cover. Let's jump into it. How's it going, dudes? Third day in a row? Going live? Doing good? New Eden news. Yeah. So first things first, at least the first of the big Plex sales and skins have dropped for the event. These are brand new skins, and unfortunately, considering if it's worth doing an event track with an alt. So I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about how hard it is to do. These events are, this event is so easy for alphas compared to previous events. Like the mining industry track is extremely straightforward. The combat track, like, yeah, you do have to race, but that's the same as always. And these sites are so much more straightforward on than previous sites, like especially damage wise. Like the actual threat that these sites pose to a person is relatively low compared to other sites. There's no scrams. Even yesterday I got nuded out and I was still able to just sit there and kind of make a decision on what to do. Yeah, so yeah, the Plex can make it worth it too. That's true. Yeah, the Plex, the 100 Plex for getting it on an alt, that can make it worth it. But my point is that, like, you might need to go find someplace that's off the beaten path. You might need to get lucky and actually like win a race or two, or like not manage to find sites that aren't being hassled. I found a system where I was able to get like 2 or 3 sites done. There were like 4 or 5 sites total. There's one other person or whatever. Like, and that's with the Hurricane Fleet issue, which is totally alpha friendly. But like the exploration stuff, but honestly, like the mining, like the fact that you have to build the stuff and then sell it, like you can buy the BPCs. They're going for extremely cheaper and cheaper and cheaper all the time now. So if you just mine and build the stuff and then sell the pieces, you'll finish the track easy peasy by the end of the month. Don't even worry about it. If you farm nothing but combat hacking sites, you'll have enough BPCs to do the event track on alts purely through industry and adventure. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, Malik has been finally trying his alligator out because we were talking about how that could be a good one, and it turns out it is a good one. It is a good one. So that one works too. There's so many different options to do stuff with these sites. But so I think I warned you guys about this. I was pretty sure that these new skins were going to be part of a Plex pack, and it was going to be silly. So here we are. We have a Plex pack, but we also have in-game sales that offer some very interesting opportunities. Yeah, there's a Gnosis fit that works on Eve Workbench too. So this is a Plex pack. It's got 20% off Plex, and it gives you the free skin. So let's go ahead and check them out. So here we can see that they are actually taking like 20% off the main value of the pack. Because like, well, actually, yeah. So 1500 Plex, you would expect 1500 Plex to be, technically you would expect it to be $75, right? Because 500 Plex is 1 month of game time and $25. But Plex has a premium on it, which makes it so that 500 Plex is $25 instead of the $20 if you bought it with the game time. So here, this is actually cheaper than just buying 3 months of game time. If you bought 3 months of game time, that'd be $60. Obviously, if you bought a pack of game time, then it's only $16 a month, so it's technically only $47 because there's a discount on getting 3 months of Omega. So, you know, whatever. Well, if you have a link that I need to post, you might need to DM me the link so that way I can post it. But so, you know, bear that in mind, but just realize that like this is a good deal before the skins get applied. And then these skins are fairly valuable depending on how you sold it, depending on how you sell it. So, this one, which is, where is it? In order to get any of them, you have to get this $50 pack and you get the Dramiel. And then the $100 pack gives you the Mecha Ball and the Dramiel. The $190 pack gets you the Cinnabal, and the $335 pack gets you the Kizreal, and the $519 pack gets you the Macarial. So, oh, okay, that's fine. So the Macarial skin, when we saw it on in the market in Jita today, was somewhere around like 3 to 4 billion ISK. Big pro tip right now: if you are interested in these skins, put up a decent buy order, because the difference between buy and sell orders right now. I actually picked up the Mecha Ball skin today. They were going for like 150 million, and I picked mine up for 75 million on a buy order, when the previous highest buy order was like 40. So I could have sat on it and gotten like for 50 or whatever. But there are people who are buying these Plex packs and just see these skins as just being like extra value. So they're just selling it on selling it to buy orders in Jita. So it is worth trying to put up a buy order in Jita. And I can tell you this because we've already done ours. So congratulations, you can enjoy it too. No, this deal is going to last for a week. So expect these prices to potentially fluctuate during that time. I do not expect these skins to necessarily be available after this because it is so specific to this event, but you never know with these kinds of things. However, these skins have some pretty cool stuff I wanted to show off. Here is the Dramiel version. We talked about this, I think, yesterday or whenever when we looked at it. The pattern on them is actually reused. This pattern here is actually the I'm reasonably sure. If you look at the Vexor Navy issue, they have a skin called the Empyrean Dragon skin. And it has this pattern on it of like waves, like very almost like Japanese old school art like wave patterns, like water waves. So we can see that basically this is the exact same pattern, but turned sideways, just to create some visual interest there. But that isn't actually the exciting thing about this skin. It does have this indicator right here: Blackbody radiation in case of emergency. Consult a qualified physicist or eject pod in an arbitrary direction. And it also has this Blackbody radiation indicator, which we'll be looking at here in a few seconds. And there is actually a piece to this this skin that isn't working, it looks like. If we go to show info and you turn off and on the skin, you'll see that there's supposed to be this like lightning in between the claws, but it disappears immediately. I imagine that that's a bug, since in the pictures it does have that claw. We've tested it. It doesn't do anything if you kill anybody. It doesn't do anything if you're in warp. It doesn't. So whatever is making that effect turn on isn't working correctly. So hopefully that'll get fixed at some point. But the really cool thing is actually this indicator here. So let's go ahead and check this out. As I undock, you'll be able to see it. Well, maybe I won't be able to see it. So you can see here, the Blackbody radiation has actually built up. And if I slow down and stop, as I slow down, the radiation goes down. So this is tied to my speed. If I go that direction and I put on a prop mod, you'll be able to see now it's almost completely lit up. And if I warp, as I enter warp, it fills the rest of the way up and turns like the drifter green color when it's fully filled up. And there's these crazy lightning effects and black smoke that comes off the lightning effects that happens in particular when it's in warp, but it, you know, all the time. So this skin definitely wins on its effects. The other thing that's worth noting is that there are actually extra doodads on some of these ships. You can see the radiation effects on the sides there. That's really cool. Oh, that says prototype on the side too now. The Cinnable and the Macarial actually get extra doodads. So if we open up the Cinnable, we can see, like, this is what the Cinnable looks like. We all know what the Cinnable looks like. But if we put on this skin, now there's actually these spikes on the back here that you can see. Like, they're actually like a model that were added. So you can see, like, there's the spikes, and we can make them disappear and make them reappear. And there's supposed to be lightning there, too. You can see the lightning flash for a second, but then they go away. And then the Macarial in the back here, they get two little points in the back. Although I can't make the lightning appear here. They also get, I think that they, in the video or in the image, it looked like there's also supposed to be lightning in the spikes in the front. But those aren't new spikes. These are, though. These are new spikes. So yeah, pretty cool skin, but pretty expensive skin. We can actually... Ooh, you can see my alts. Let's see. So as of right now, which again, this is the first morning, the Dramiel skin is currently going for 100 million, 54 million buy. The Mecha Ball is going for 100 to 150 million with 50 million isk buy. I imagine the Dramiel is going to be more popular than the Mecha Ball. The Cinnaball is currently 700 with a 300 buy. The Kizriel is 2 bill with a 600 million isk buy. And the Macarial is currently sitting at 2.8 bill with the next highest one at 4 bill with the lowest buy order of 1.4 bill. So, you know, definitely spendy, but it is a very good skin. And the Macarial skin actually has this, like, red stripe down the middle, too. The other ones don't really have that. They look pretty sick. They never release any new Mimitar skins, so I don't buy. I mean, angel ships are like Mimitar skins. So, well, I mean, so let's be frank. Mimitar ships aren't really great to skin. We do get like my Sleipnir. I have the Chainbreaker Kumok, and on the fleet issue, I was playing with the Hurricane Fleet issue yesterday, and it has a badass skin. That's true. There was a Varger skin, but it was the police skin. Freedom's Revolution. I don't know how I ended up with this skin, but I did. Then again, any skin with a Kumok on it makes me happy. Right? Any skin with a Kumok. Mimitar Victory? Well, that's going to be a hard one to get. Yeah. The Probe and the Vagabond. Hey, what's up? The new Probe skin is... Wait, hold on. You were just talking about the Tyrant Breaker, right? This one? I like the Tyrant Breaker skins. I think the Tyrant Breaker skins are probably one of the best. Actually, I don't know. They've done some pretty good. They do some pretty good skins for Capsuleer Day. I always think that they're so overindulgent about the year on the Capsuleer Day, but this time, like, the 22 is kind of subtle on the whole setup. So, the Guardian. Exoplanet skins are boss. Like, they are low-key some of the best ones. Not just because that's our colors. Okay, maybe that. That does look pretty clean. I like the scratched on 21. I kind of wish it didn't have the clean 21, just so that it could only have the scratched on 21. Or 22. I keep saying 20, 21. 22. I can count, I promise. But I'm always going to love the emergency response skin. It's got Tyrant on... Yeah. All of the Tyrant Breaker skins say Tyrant Breaker on it. Does it say Tyrant on the back? Or are you is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, it has the Leet Speak. A lot of the ships have those Leet Speak on it for, like, especially the Caldari ships. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but you look at any given Caldari ship, you can usually find the designation on it. Did I pick the one that doesn't have it? I picked the one that doesn't have it. Maybe it does, and I just don't see it off the top of my head. Yeah, there it is. Eagle right there at the front. Not really Leet Speak as much as ship model number, since Caldari are very corporate producty. Yeah, but even so, CCP even called it Leet Speak when they first put it on there. Like, yes, it is designed to be the model name or whatever, but there is a certain amount of cheekiness to the fact that it is Leet Speak. Like, out of universe cheekiness, I should say. But it is true that mostly it's the Caldari that do it. All right. So, the Leet Speak target painters are really cool. You can still find them. Hold on. Like, so for those of you who don't know, before modules got tier-sided, so, like, you know, we talk every once in a while about how, like, compact means less fitting. Scoped means goes further, right? Enduring means takes less capacitor. We all know these things. Well, that's because of tier-side. which happened over the course of like the last a decade or so to different modules or whatever. But when it happened, before it happened, these different target painters had different names, and you can actually see the name of it. They kept the name on there on yeah. So this one, the parallel enduring target painter, used to be called parallel weapon navigation transmitter. This one used to be called peripheral weapons navigation delimitator. And this one was called phased weapon navigation array generation extron. So the reason why is because this abbreviates to PWNT. P-W-N-T. This one goes to PWND, P-W-N-D. And this one goes to PWND, P-W-N-A, or Ponage. Ponage, I think, right? Yeah, because it was phased weapon navigation array generator. Extron, yeah. So I think it was Ponage. What changed in the Nexus? I cleared it before server reset. Well, no. Like, it's changed for the event. Like, you would have seen it different yesterday, too. So... we poked at this yesterday a little bit. But as of right now... oh, no! Hold on. Shit. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So we can talk about that too. We were just talking about the new Plex sale and skin sales. Yeah, the trig wormhole was at 1% before reset, but just yet last night, I know that last night they figured out how to do the Nexus site. So, and they got I think it was 3 to 4% in one run of the Nexus site. So I expect them to start pushing it up soon. I think they've got fleets going up right now, in fact. So either way, where was I? Oh yeah. The other thing that's worth noting is we have this Plex sale going on right now, but the other big thing that's going on is if we go in-game, gotta farm hand and get Stratego siege modules. The Trig group is the best group. They have a Discord. They put out a call to arms with the Discord link on it on Reddit a few weeks ago. If you hop in our Discord and you ask me for it, I can probably get you in. Either way. So in the New Eden store right now, they also are doing this 2-for-1 sale on stuff, right? Now, it's worth noting that this is already calculated in these things, right? So when you buy this for 25 Plex, you end up with 2 daily injectors. If you had bought this yesterday, it would have just been 1 for 25 Plex. So, like, you don't get 2 sets of 10 for 110, just so everybody knows, right? Like, this is already, like, this deal is already folded into it. But what this means is that with the combination of the Plex sales and the combination of the extractors and alpha injector sales, it means that now is actually a pretty decent time to buy extractors and daily alpha injectors. Daily alpha injectors are only useful if you are an alpha clone and can only be used once a day. So if you're going to go Omega soon, or if you are Omega, these don't do anything for you, but normal injectors will. Also, don't forget to get your free 1,500 skill points. If we go back here, we can see that we look up alpha injectors on the market. We will see that I'm reasonably sure. Well, we'll see. So the alpha injector is 50 million right now, and if we look at the price history, it's usually just about 50 million. So the actual price of the daily injectors has not changed much so far. You can see that yeah, it hasn't actually adjusted at all yet. But partially because if we look up the actual New Eden store, we see, so it's two daily injectors for 25 plex. So 25 plex. If we go to plex, here's the big problem. Plex has gone from 5 to 6 to 5 to 7. So you can see that Plex is now up to 6.7. Likely because there are all of those extra sales and stuff going on right now. Even though there's all this extra Plex being coming from the Plex packs, right now, the price of Plex is only up. We can see here, it is going up, it would appear. So, in fact, yesterday, the high yesterday was 6 million. That was the highest anybody bought Plex for yesterday. And today, the buyers are buying it for 6.6. So, yeah. This is what happens when you put Plex-based industry into the game? Yes. So, then, if we take... Yeah, let's just take 6 million ISK. How much was it? It was 25 Plex, right? Yeah. Just checking. 25 Plex. So 25 times 6 equals... So unless you can get 2 skill injectors, or 2 daily skill injectors for... they would have to be 75 million ISK each on the market to be worth buying them on the store. So what's happening here? Probably what I think is happening here is people... The reason why, and this is going to be true for daily skill injectors, or the daily skill, alpha skill things. This is going to be true always. And the reason why is because of the population that can't use them, right? So chances are there's a fair amount of people, like there's a pattern where people buy daily alpha injectors and assume that they can use it, and then they try to use it, and either they go Omega or before they thought they were going to, or they don't realize that it doesn't work for an Omega. So now they have these daily injectors that they can't use. And so they're willing to sell them and eventually sell them at a loss. So I imagine that there's a fair chunk of the daily alpha injectors that are on the market because they're trying to recoup a loss for an injector that they can't use anymore. So chances are this is going to remain low. So just bear in mind, for those of you who are relatively new and excited and all this stuff, yes, this is buy one, get one free for daily alpha injectors. That doesn't mean it's worth it, okay? In fact, again, you'd have to get at least 3 daily alpha injectors for the same amount in order for it to be worth it. This is actually true about a lot of the Plex stuff. Like we can go to the skill extractors, right? Skill extractors are... How much are they? Skill extractors, 140. If we go 140 times 6. So this is closer because 2 skill extractors right now is 800 million. 2 skill extractors in Plex is 840 million. So, but even still, like, so just buying it on the market is going to be better than buying it with Plex. What I think is crazy is if you buy 20K and 3K pack of Plex, then roll them into skill extractors, and you turn 100 billion into 200 billion in ISK worth of stuff. Yeah, I mean, you could. There might be other ways of doing it, especially with extractors and stuff on the market and whatnot. Yeah, if you really, really whittle it and you combine all of these deals together, you can usually get a pretty good situation out of it. This is a good example of that. But just bear in mind, like I said, just because there's deals on extractors and daily alpha injectors on the Nest Store doesn't make it worth it necessarily. Always double check the price of the thing on the market with the price of Plex. Okay? So yeah. That's true. Also, right now, because there's so much trading going on, especially on all of these sorts of products, buy orders are a very good way of doing things. I did, like I said, I was able to pick up that. I was able to pick up that skin for 75 million instead of 150 million. And yeah, having to wait for daily injectors doesn't matter if you can only use one a day. Okay, so let's talk about the interesting stuff, shall we? Nobody came here to hear me talk about the latest skin sales. What skin did I get? I got well, I picked up the Mecha Ball Blackbody. So we're going to do the New Eden news, and then we're going to talk about the changes that we saw. I forgot to grab the New Eden news. All right. Here we go. This is the one we've been waiting for, boys. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. This is your New Eden news for April 17th. YC127. Drifters advance as New Eden fights back. Drifters have escalated their conflict across New Eden and beyond the five factions take up occupancy in drifter wormhole systems. These occupational forces have been enabled by new drifter wormhole filaments developed as a result of the recent race for the hives. These filaments rely on remote access to the Warden and Zarzak and allow groups of ships to move into specified drifter wormholes. Simultaneously, structural shifts have been observed throughout drifter wormhole systems for the first time in years. The previous drifter complexes have been reconfigured into labyrinthine constructs of reconfiguring space. Early hyperspace telemetry indicates that these complexes only partially exist within observable space, with much of their structure extending into higher dimensions. Even more troubling are the newly formed Nexus points. Once a part of the drifter complexes, these nexuses have been separated into their own dead space pockets. The mysterious structures within each nexus have begun advancing as the linked labyrinth complex iterates through its inscrutable machinations. Scientists are at a loss to explain exactly what will occur should their advancement go unchallenged, but doomsday scenarios have been shared across the cluster. Concord has been quick to challenge these rumors, stating that whatever the drifters' plans may be, they will take some time to come to fruition. Meanwhile, occupying factions are struggling to maintain their influence over these systems against the growing drifter strength. Azdaja readout. An extensive Triglavian force has appeared in J174618, which has been given a new system designation. According to Concord's linguistic specialists, it is now known as Azdaja Redoubt by the occupying forces. The Triglavians have set up a counter-domain base of operations and showing a willingness to trade with those who have proven themselves against the drifters. The scope has picked up a broadcast from the convocation of Triglav in Azdaja Redoubt. Reverse time aggression from the Azdaja in Forbidden Dominance disrupts the domain of Buyan. Reoccurring time Azdaja conflicts escalates disruption. Narodnia multitude lost. Koshoi multitude lost. Nafka multitude lost. Extirpation is the only advanced time state for the ancient enemy Azdaja. Advanced ancient domain's allegiances are Pravda when fitness is proven against ancient enemy Azdaja. Augmented Narodnia of proven fitness will receive glorification in counter domain. Triumph is the only advancing time context within the flow of Virage. They conflicts Irie. Quote, they dared attack New Caldari. They dared dishonor our home, and now they will fall to the might of our great state. These were the words spoken by Chairman Akimaka Saraki as the Caldari Navy fleet established itself within the system formerly known as J200727. The fleet swiftly established the Caldari Navy Eyrie, a fortified location that has granted the system a new name, Conflux Eyrie. The Caldari Navy Detachment also includes a number of specialists from the School of Applied Knowledge. These researchers are there to gather as much information as they can about the Drifter threat and their enigmatic technologies. They have broadcasted a request for any items of interest to be brought to the Eyrie in exchange for equipment that will help them in their wage their war against the Drifters. Liberated Barbican. Reaching across the tribal divide, Brutor, Sebester, and Thucker tribal chiefs have joined Samatar, Malatu Shakur in leading a joint task force against the Drifters. Setting up a base inside of the wormhole formerly known as J110145, now dubbed Liberated Barbican, the Republic Fleet Liberation Outpost will operate as a base of operations within the Minmatar military. Quote, the attack on Tabitzer was a crime we will not soon forget, end quote. Samatar Shakur informed the media at a press conference alongside the tribal chiefs, quote, these tyrants and their violence will no longer be tolerated. The fleet's stated operational goal is the liberation of the system from drifter control. In addition, however, a number of Republic Security Service teams have joined with the Republic Fleet base. These Secret Service operatives have been quiet about their interests, but acquisition of technology is a known goal of the organization. Sentinel MZ. Edencom has declared a system formerly designated J055520 an operational military zone codenamed Sentinel MZ. A specifically constructed fleet has fortified a position in the system to support those engaged in anti-drifter operations. Provost Marshal Kasia Falconer has called the operation, quote, Edencom's boldest offensive since we first faced the Triglavian threat. Our forces are best of the best. With the Capsuleer's aid, I have no doubt that we will hold the line, end quote. When asked how she felt about the fighting on the same side as the conflict as the Triglavians, Falconer was quick to respond, quote, we are not, nor shall we ever be, on their side. We are on the side of New Eden. If the Drifters and the Trig want to blow each other up while we're busy securing peace for our cluster, so be it, end quote. Sanctified Vidette. At the ceremony in J164710, Empress Catis I herself has sanctified the system in the name of the Amarian faith. During the holy ritual, she renamed the system Sanctified Vidette. The ceremony was celebrated across the Amar Empire as a display of strength against the enemy that committed regicide against the Empress's predecessor, Empress Jamil I. Shortly after it concluded, the Empress withdrew back to the Imperial Palace in Amar Prime. The Imperial Navy has completed the construction of a militarized sanctuary in the site of her sanctification. In additional to the military contingent, members of the Imperial Academy and representatives of the Theology Council have taken up residency. According to official reports, these groups will be reviewing any findings from the conflict with the Drifters for potential value to the Empire, as well as religious implications. News in brief. Angel Cartel accused of further raids on Amar research centers despite Imperial victory in Race for the Hives. Spikes in hyperspace traffic around the Warden detected as Drifter structures reconfigure. Intaki Bank reports record year as investors seek safety from war crime scrutiny. Deathless Circle in turmoil as operatives scramble to intercept remote Warden access. Senate calls for Race for the Hives inquiry narrowly defeated by Progressive Party loyalists. Brutor tribe condemns Republic Fleet deal to share technology with Edencom operations in Sentinel MZ. And that is it for your New Eden news for April 17th, YC127. Now some analysis. Obviously, the most exciting thing about this entire thing is this picture right here, because this structure here is the pickup sticks that we have seen before. If we go and look at, where is it? So... if we look at this is what this site looked like a couple weeks ago, right? Like, so right before this happened, right before Tuesday, so Monday, if you went into the Drifter Hives and got into the heart of the Nexus, it would have looked like this. Now, this is not what it always looked like, okay? In fact, we can see that Deep in the center of each hive complex, accessible only by slowly navigating at subwarp velocity, Capsuleers discovered an abnormal site, the Nexus of each complex containing two celestial scale polar vortexes with a titanic arrangement of energy pylons arranged in a huge urchin-like shape at the center of the anomaly. So it wasn't always this shape. In fact, when it first showed up, it looked like this, okay? Or like this. This is what it originally looked like. This is what was called the urchin. But here's the thing about the urchin, okay? Like, there was multiple, you know, they add stuff all the time into the game. We see it in hobo leaks. This includes models. So this was added to the game, and it was labeled JBG1. And there is also JBG2, 3, and 4. And in all of those, basically, it went from being this like circular spike to closing up, basically, until it becomes like a tube, right? Unfortunately, most of the pictures that we have of those other models, it would appear, was using Tamber's old visualizing tool, which doesn't work anymore. So I hunted for a while. It's actually the reason why today's stream is late, was because for the last 2 days I've been hunting for good pictures of the other stages. I can't find any. Kind of. I found one picture of stage 2 that Uriel took. I'm assuming he took the picture of it using the tools. But if we go back to the compilation here, it says, days later, the Drifters launched their second assault on the Amar. The next Capsuleer expedition to the Hive sites encountered significant changes to the operation of the complexes. Access difficulty has been greatly reduced, and tandem movements in the Hive room became unnecessary. So when the Hives first released, you actually had to go into both sides, both sides, and hack something in 2 different rooms at the same time in order to access deeper into the Hive. They got rid of that need. But at the same time, it says, as every acceleration gate has unlocked and the previous unnecessary transfer modules had disappeared. In addition, new acceleration gates have been installed in both the first and last room of each complex that appeared, which both lead to the central nexus, which had themselves also changed. The pylons comprising the urchin had completely de-interlaced and spread across the field, the anomaly forming a massive and highly energetic debris field, and in the center of each, a named repository had appeared for each complex. Within the other rooms of the Hive sites, 2 alignment units which produce alignment sequences labeled 1 and 0 for each nexus appeared and also became available. The conclusion was made that the nexus pylons were meant to align, forming a titanic acceleration gate of some nature, but the trigger for them forming was unable to be identified. Inserting the proper sequences into the repositories did not affect the pylons in any obvious way. However, samples of the novel drifter material usable in the series of boosters were dispensed to those depositing them. So you deposit the thing, it gives you back drugs. At the same time, each Hakanta Tyrannos designated pilot was newly found to carry a schema for a coalesce element, an amalgam of each Hive element alongside the Antikythera harvested from the Jove observatories with an unknown purpose. You know, we know that this coalesce element basically remained completely unnecessary, unused in the game until the Deathless needed them to turn on the Fulcrum years later. Your theory is that the Urchin was a failed alignment and they were unable to do what they needed until they found the Warden or something close to it to get the hyperspace telemetry needed to align them properly. It's possible. So the thing is, like I said, there's different stages. And so if the Urchin was stage 1, then there was stage 2, 3, and 4. And 4 was basically a tube, right? I think we looked at a picture of it the other day. But I did find a picture of stage 2 that was taken by Uriel. This is, he posted some mysterious audio that he picked up from, this is also from the files. Oh, hold on. Spooky. Okay. So, but we can also see here, is the audio skipping? Did the audio skip? It looked like it was good to me. Either way, we can see over here. No, there was no, I didn't hear a voice in the background. Oh, maybe. Either way, we can see a picture here where this is clearly it beginning to align, right? So this is like stage 2, right? Compare that to what we see today. So, guys, this is crazy. Like, again, they put all this stuff into the game years ago. 10 years ago, this stuff got put into the game. And the pickup sticks never did anything besides just have lightning through it, right? Oh, it was on your end? Okay. So, I don't know what this means, guys, but... And the New Eden News clearly indicates that that this could be... So, in the same way of, like, we're trying to get influence to 100%, it isn't just enough for the drifters to get it to 100%. It looks like they're trying to actually do something with this stuff. So, it's going to be worth watching these particular urchins. This is a picture from inside of the Dread site, by the way. So, very, very interesting indeed. We can see this is what the old pickup sticks used to look like. Yeah, whether we'll see another rearrangement is unknown. It's so crazy. Like, to me, going back and reading this stuff is so wild because it's like 10 years ago, we were all sitting here waiting for something to happen. And it's like, finally, it is. If only Mark was here to see it. Where is Mark? Somebody go find Mark726 and tell him he has to come back to the game now. No. So yeah, that's the most exciting thing about the New Eden News, I think, today. There is some really great pictures of the different wormholes, fortifications that are going on. Another thing to note out of this is that we don't know if it's because the Trig won, but the Trig do have, like, there has been some discussion because, of course, Edencom and Trig are both trying to take over the wormholes. However, it appears that the Trig have set aside other concerns for the purposes of going after the Azdaja. If we go to HoboLeaks and we look at the stuff about the turn-in guy, it says, Azdaja is the Astana ancient enemy. Other reverse time and advanced time conflicts are Pravda in their wake. Proven hunters are worthy of glorified exchange. Independent Suborno status or now time, independent of Suborno status or now time affiliation. So, you know, obviously, Triglavian language, they speak really weird, but what they're saying here is that the drifters are the true ancient enemy. Other previous and future conflicts are not important comparatively. People who are proven to have successfully hunted are worthy of friendly exchange with our stuff, independent of whether or not they have, shown a willingness to follow our instructions. Right? Subornos means to be put under somebody. So, like, pro Triglavian players are known as Subornos Kybernauts. So this is saying that even in, like, this is so important. We are willing to trade with people regardless of our affiliations with them. If you can prove that you are blowing up drifter stuff, they want to work with you, which is why this glorification exchange ship shows up in all 5 drifter wormholes in the Labyrinth complex. So you can trade those in, you know, those are the ones that you can trade in, like you can trade in the slice for the Kiki skin and stuff. So each empire has their own fortification, right? As is shown in these, you know, these pictures. But then also inside of the Labyrinth is this lone Triglavian hauler who's willing to trade with anybody. So, you know, obviously the Triglavians' primary priority should be attempting to take their wormhole. But this is one of the interesting questions, which is that, like, I've seen people working to help stop these invasions, but as of right now, I have not seen active efforts to disrupt each other's efforts, right? Like, I haven't heard very much about Triglavians going in and disrupting Edencom, or Edencom going in to disrupt Triglavians. I think everybody's kind of just dealing with their own crap right now, if that makes sense. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of the next month. We can go and see in the opportunities. Under interstellar events, the 5 wormholes, so we can see all of their progress right now, and we can see that you know, they are climbing back up. You know, the Azdaja redoubt was all the way down to 0 last night, and then they've started building it back up. You just fought the Dutch gunner? Oh gosh. Well, I just said there's people aren't really fighting each other in there, but and then you guys go and turn it around on me. Awesome. Well, which wormhole was that? It's the Azdaja redoubt, I'm sure, right? Yeah. Which wormhole is that? Shit. What's the... God damn it. There it is. Man, there is somebody in local who is complaining about how there's only 1 site per region, and I could not figure out what the hell he was talking about. And I'm pretty sure he meant that he saw this and thought that, like, oh, there's only 1 per region, not realizing what the hell's going on. There's a lot of people that don't know what the hell's going on right now, I have found. Make sure to point people to my stream so that way people actually know what's going on. Oh boy, yep, there it is. You big meanies. Well, the Azdaja one is the Wolf Riot. Oh man, and there's initiative, a bunch of initiative in here too. Although they died to a Tyrannos. It is now called Azdaja Redoubt. That's cool. Ooh. Is this even, like, set up correctly? Wait. This doesn't even have... Wait. This is a weird... I did related off of Dutch Gunner's Guardian. I don't even see Dutch Gunner's Guardian on here? What does that even mean? Dutch lived? Then what is this? Can you answer that? Because this seems to indicate otherwise. He died when he slid into the site. Oh, wait, but it says found... Oh. Well, now I feel bad for him. You let him die to NPCs? You jerk. Yeah, so what's weird about this is that when an NPC kills a person, it's counted as the last person to do damage. So even though Apollo apparently finished him off, it doesn't matter because Isaac was the last person to hit him. So Isaac got credit. But it looks like several people hit him. Apollo's happy, I'm sure. Ugh, Dutch isn't. Kiki's versus Confessors. Smiling Apollo.png. It's just weird that like I can do a related on Dutch Gunner's loss and it doesn't have Dutch Gunner on it. That's so weird. But yeah, okay, well. Sounds like people are having fun. Look at these Icky Tursus dying. Uh-oh, what happened? Just DM me any... Oh my god. Wizard, you pissed off the bot. Yeah, anytime you have like a period, like if people accidentally like put a period and then start their next sentence without a space, Streamlabs will like freak out. Yeah. So, what are these Icky Tursus doing in there? I will say this, just as a heads up, guys. If you see an Icky Tursa, if you see any trig ships in the combat sites in high sec or low sec, nice try, performative. I don't know why people are taking cruisers into a Wolf Riot hole. Because they don't understand how Wolf Riots work. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But what I will say is, like, if you see a Triglavian ship in the sleeper forges or foundries that are out there, do not trust it. Okay? We've proven this several times. The Trig ships are not good at running the combat site, right? We tried it with a Drek. My buddies tried it with an Icky Tursa. Like, Icky Tursa with 100 fucking tracking was still having difficulty killing the rats. It's not efficient. So if there's an Icky Tursa that is in your combat site, I will put money on the fact that it is there to steal your loot and try to get you to go try to get you to attack it once it goes suspect, right? Like, that's the only reason to be flying an Icky Tursa in these event sites. So stay frosty out there. There's a lot of people that are looking to pick some fights, and people are getting caught off guard in like that. I don't know if I could find any good examples of that right now. Stuff like this, right? There's a Cerberus that got mad that an Icky Tursa stole something. Be careful out there, guys. Especially this Cosmo Blink dude. Just throwing it out there. You can take cruisers into a Wolf Riot hole, but they have to be rapid light missile launcher. Wait, I thought... Hold on. Oh, it is weapon. Okay, yeah, rapid lights count. Feel free to call you out with the Vedmac. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we had somebody get caught by a Vedmac because they did the same thing. Like, just realize trig ships are not good at this site. So if they're in there to fight you. Damage from small Vortron projectors are also affected by this. That's kind of funny. Trig ships are very good at PvP. That's true. Rapid does count as small weapons. Because it's the missile itself. In the Nexus sites? No, I'm talking about I'm talking about specifically in the high sec and low sec combat for the event sites, the Sleeper Forge and Sleeper Foundry. Those are the ones that like people are going into because like especially in high sec, they're going into the sites and then they go and steal from the battleship, and then the person gets mad and tries to attack you, and then you know, so. Yeah. Now inside of the wormhole, especially the Wolf Riot one, is really good for Kikis. I've convinced you to log in tonight. Hey man, there's shit to do. Yeah. Trying to see whether or not there's anything else that we want to really talk about today. Otherwise, I was going to go run off and edit that New Eden news and some other stuff and get that out there, and also try to run some sites myself. We run Kikis plus Draugrs, works fine. Yeah, I'm assuming in the Nexus site, right? Yeah, like I said, especially in the Wolf Riot, like that's the correct answer. I'm saying like in known space, because I try to draw. Yeah. In the Nexus site, I think that Kikis and Draugrs are going to be the absolute answer. Speaking of, I plan on crashing your guys' party and hanging out with you guys and helping out. The loot stealing makes me never want to run events. I'm not skilled enough to deal with that. Don't want to deal with hyper-aggressive types. I mean, the best option is just go off the beaten path. Like, if you go into deep Mimitar or Mars space, chances are you're not going to run into anybody racing you. And just realize that, like, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And that's it. And some people, like, yeah, some people will sometimes try to steal from you or whatever. But it's fairly rare, all things considered. And you're still getting the points to go down the track. If you, like, the hacking sites are also available. Mining sites are also available. There's a lot of other options to participate. And, of course, you know, as the event rolls on, this is going to be a month long. So if you are worried too much about the competition, yes, actually, we just put up our first fleet for our own fleet. We'll see what we get and what we can do with it starting tomorrow. So if you're on the Discord, make sure to check the events for more information. Don't shoot at suspects. They'll be fine in high sec unless ganked, of course. Yeah. If somebody... Look, here's the secret. The actual loot in most of these sites aren't actually that great compared to the points. So if somebody steals your loot in high sec, whatever, man. They stole 6 million ISK. Move on to the next site. I miss emerging conduits, so you could just warp in on someone already running the site. It's cool to just run it with them. Yeah, I do like how that like became this natural cooperative thing, but it didn't always work out. Tired of just being the bottom of the food chain. Yeah. Well, have you tried out the Hurricane Fleet issue that we posted? You do get better loot. Yeah, honestly, the exploration sites are probably going to be a better bet for those of you who do not want to be competitive. The exploration sites are pretty good. You haven't seen the fit. Okay. If you go to Eve Workbench... Whoop. There is a bunch of latest Capsuleer Day 22 fits. And my Capsuleer Day 22 alpha-friendly HFI is there. There's a link. This thing does about 700 DPS. It'll outrace most of the random things that you'll run into. If you're... One thing to remember to pay attention to is kind of keep track of where the battleship warps in on. He's kind of below the plane a bit. And so the closer you can be when the battleship arrives, like if you can be within 10 kilometers of it, that's perfect. Otherwise, you know, like anybody who's like a Tengu or an alligator or something like that that's on top of it will be able to outrace you. But this will be able to do most of the sites and deal with most of the people. Are the scan relic sites hard to find? Haven't found any yet, but haven't been scanning much. Well, the rule number 1 of exploration, you always find what you're not looking for. I recommend looking in low sec, preferably non-faction warfare low sec would probably be a good time. You've not lost a race yet with this fit? This fit is super good. Like, it's actually crazy how good this fit is. Because if you think about it, like, the main obstacle of the site isn't how much damage they do, it's your inability to hit them. And this fleet issue comes with a bonus 50% tracking. It's your skills that are the problem? We'll see. I mean, so I do recommend if you are going to bring this thing, bring some hard shell or any of the event boosters that have to do with damage or tank or cap, because you can even watch my video yesterday. I did get capped out in one of the sites. I still was able to kill the battleship in time, but it was very sketchy. You know, if you have lower skills, it might be worth having a hard shell, so that way you can tank a little bit better. And maybe it's not crash. Whatever the turret application booster is. But there's also event drugs to use for, like, newt resistance. Yeah, actually, I've also considered just switching this out for a large shield extender, just to be fine. Yeah. Like I said, you could just carry some drugs to help push you over the edge in the event that you have low skills. But also, the damage is so low that, and there's no scram. So, like, if you're below 20% shields and you don't think you got it, you can always just warp off. So that's what I recommend. The alligator, Malik picked up the alligator, and apparently it's juicy. Did you go with the one that I linked earlier, or did you have a new fit, Malik? Care to share the fit? Hold on, let me actually switch over to Ash. You linked it in COE earlier? Are you online? Can you link it again? Okay, well, if you, I mean, only if you want to. Oh, wait. Never mind. We got it. We got it. We got it. So here we go. The alligator fit. It is a little over on power grid, so you would need at least a 2% or 3% rather power grid implant to use it, more likely than not. Alternatively, you could probably compact the afterburner. Nope, that's not going to do it. You can... Isn't the Gator around 1.1 billion? Actually, this one is 848, so this is actually cheaper than the one I was looking at yesterday. If you buy it from buy orders for 390 apiece, you'll end up at 7.8 billion. If you buy it for Plex from the NES, you'll end up with 7.86 billion. So it's still more to buy it for Plex. So, okay. So this thing, is there any way I can get... That's already a compact. You could just... yeah, you could turn off the NOS, theoretically. You could turn off the NOS, theoretically, if you needed to. But otherwise, this is fine. It's a passive fit. You could even go... He went a little bit cheaper with C3As instead of C3Xs. But it has, and this is the important part, 910 DPS. And that's with heavy assault missiles. So the 500 drone DPS is going to be very well applied. And the 400, and the nice thing about this is that the drones are able to damage... You know how our drones have been linked to filaments? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, Hilo will work just fine. Can I link it here? Did they hint to it in the SOE arc and the drones using spatial rifts? Well, like, that is way old, but that has been my point, which is that there's always been this mystery about how the rogue drones have been able to spread around using the spatial rifts and stuff. And so my add-on to that is that they learned from the other and from about Isogen 5 and started using that to get around. And that's how they got around. And that eventually got them to accidentally their way into abyssal dead space as they were doing those connections. Yeah, that's what I've like. That is pretty much what how that theory goes. But yeah, I forgot that the SOE Epic arc talks about that. Maybe we should look at that sometime. Either way, normal rigs for passive tank, good mid slots. I like it. The only thing that might, I don't know if you could change one of the multi-specs for like an EM, but it's probably good. They could have accidentally into Jove space and stole some tech from them as well. Possibly. Well, like, we know that like the rogue drones were exposed to Isogen 5. We know that the rogue drones have been influenced, or it seems that the rogue drones have been influenced by the other, possibly more or less, depending on how you do or what you decide to try to blame the other on. Yeah. So this fit. Do you mind if I put this on Eve Workbench, Malik? Okay, I'll put it on Eve Workbench. Add new fit. Boom. What is this called? Capsuleer Day XXII. There we go. Thanks, Malik. Check out the fit. Boom. Now you can get the fit. That's the fit on Eve Workbench. Hold on. Let me change the description to be like needs 3% power grid implant or turn off NOS. Cool. All right. Well, I think that that's probably good for today. Today was going to be a shorter stream just to kind of get everybody caught up. Tomorrow, we'll see. Tomorrow, no promises on tomorrow. I might be video recording. I might end up just editing or working on something. I don't know. It depends on whether or not there's anything too important to talk about or show off. But in the meantime, you can go ahead and head on over to the Convocation Empyreans Discord to come and hang out and see what's going on and flag yourself as interested in YouTube videos, so that way you can get updates on the latest on what's going on with the show and with the event. Also, if you're new or returning to the game and have not gotten a free million skill points, make sure to use the link down below or in the chat right now to get your free million skill points. It is available to all players, regardless of how long you've been playing the game or how old your character is. You can use it. It gives you 20 to 40 days of skill points, depending on if you're alpha or omega, and helps out those who help out make the stream and this show possible. Also, the Convocation Empyreans is recruiting, so go ahead and consider heading on and joining our group. We have moon mining, we have opportunities. I've been told that I can no longer say that we have 6.5 billion worth of opportunities because y'all keep taking my money. So congratulations, keep it up. We're going to keep those opportunities rolling for our guys. There are opportunities for mining, hacking, and we're trying to get some industry stuff going and some stuff related to the event. All that sort of stuff and more for members of the Convocation. But all that said, I've been Ashrathi. I've been playing this game since 2010 and talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, checking out the show, and hanging out today and all week. You should go check out my previous videos for more information about this event, what is happening, how it got here. We've been doing some really good lore events and talking about the various different stuff that has happened and how we got here, and where we might be going. So with all that said, I've been Ashrathi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. Get those drifters!
Bring on the wrecking machine.
Also, there's some event going on in Eve Galaxy Conquest.
Every city you burn, I'm gonna build high. Bring on the wrecking machine, setting your dreams of heaven on fire. Bring on the wrecking machine. Bring on the wrecking machine. Bring on the wrecking machine. Gonna ignite your every desire. Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city you burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. For every city